We began the show by remarking on the breakup between Marjorie Taylor Greene and President Trump. And I have to say, I don't like this at all. Just as we fell in love with MTG, she broke up with Trump. We did not fall in love with MTG because she started saying anti-Trump things. We just thought she was interesting. But she, at the same time, was getting interesting to like the ladies of The View and now CNN. And now I'm like, I don't know exactly what's happening here. She and Trump are fighting. Ugly. He calls her Marjorie Taylor Greene now. She's saying that these comments are endangering her life. And she did a thing that no conservative should do. I mean, truly just, it shouldn't be done. She went on CNN to rip on Trump / not other Republicans, but Trump. Ben Shapiro did it the other day too and got all sorts of blowback for it. Like, Republicans don't want to see their people on CNN. You know, it's one thing if you're Scott Jennings and you're taking on a table of Democrats fighting for Trump, but it's another to see like you go into the den of the enemy and start bashing your own team. So, and MTG is not dumb. So she did that for a reason. I don't totally understand it yet, but maybe it'll become clear. Here she is on CNN talking about like her new view on like her role. This is on their Sunday show with Dana Bash yesterday, SOT 6.
But we have seen these kinds of attacks or criticism from the president at other people. It's not new. And with respect, I haven't heard you speak out about it until it was directed at you.
Dana, I think that's fair criticism. And I would like to say humbly, I'm sorry for taking part in the toxic politics. It's very bad for our country.
So just to put a button on this, you regret the things that you have said and posted in the past, the Facebook post that was taken down of you in 2020 holding a gun alongside the squad, encouraging people to go on the offense against the socialists, liking a tweet of somebody calling for the execution of Nancy Pelosi and former President Obama, just examples.
Well, Dana, as you know and many people know, I addressed that back in 2021. And of course, I never want to cause any harm or anything bad for anyone. So that was addressed back then. And
Okay. And just FYI, Brian Stelter tweets out, Marjorie Taylor Greene did something politicians almost never do. She said she was sorry. Well, it's true. They almost never do it. And Republicans really never do it because we all hate the apology now. We hate it. I hate it over my dead body when I run out there and apologize. But Marjorie is definitely up to something. I just haven't totally figured out what, because she is clever. So what do you think is happening here?
So I've liked her for a long time. I've had her on my show before. I've talked to her. I've met her. And the reason I've always liked her is because I agree with everything she believes or says, but it's because I personally believe she's unusually authentic for somebody who's in Congress, by which I mean, like, what's so interesting to me about her, Megyn, is you go to Washington, most of these people have like been trained to get to Congress. You know, they like ran for a lower level office, state legislature, worked for, members of Congress, like kind of just training their whole lives to get to Congress. She was just a totally normal person, apolitical in the private sector in her district in Georgia, and really got inspired by Trump's America First message and got into politics solely for that reason and ran for Congress. She kind of got there like almost like a Mr. Smith Goes to Washington story. And to this day, she tries not to stay in Washington. She goes back to her constituency more than most people in Congress. I'll just quickly say, like, when Trump started bombing Yemen, one of the things she said that I liked so much was she was like, why are we bombing the Houthis? People in my district don't even know what a Houthi is. They never talk about Houthis. They're not a threat to people in my district. Why are we bombing the Houthis? And she's speaking for the people in her district as they think, what she tries to remain in contact with. I think part of what this is a genuine kind of reflection on the role she's played, but I don't like the fact. I do think we want politicians to like reflect on things they've done in the past, like we talked about Tucker doing and saying, yeah, I really got that wrong. I want to make sure, but you don't go on CNN to do it and get like manipulated and exploited by Dana Bash and CNN because they're not interested in the authenticity of what you're doing. They're just exploiting you for political partisan gain.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, they've been running dishonest sound bites of yours truly and many others for weeks now. I mean, you cannot trust them for anything. So I don't know. I mean, the reports are that AOC said that Marjorie asked Trump for like permission or his blessing, endorsement to run for Senate in Georgia, and that Trump said no, and that's why she's mad. I asked Marjorie about that when she came on tour with me the other weekend. She denied that. But now there's definitely a rift where she's one of the 4 Republicans signing on for the release of more Epstein files, which has Trump attacking her. And she's out there saying, you know, the 2 that he's attacking most are people who are, me and Massey, are really pushing him on Epstein, asking if that's a coincidence. He's calling her a traitor now. He withdrew his endorsement of her just as a congresswoman. She's on CNN and The View. You know, I'm not sure what's happening here, but I feel like she does know her district, and I don't think she's in any danger there. You know, I think they love her. So this is one we just have to continue to watch and see how it plays out. But I have to say, I don't like it. I think she's great. I really like her a lot. And I know Trump could use her support. The Epstein thing is dividing Republicans too much and too long. It's like, there was one very good point raised by Speaker Johnson in response to this vote that's going to happen, demanding that the DOJ release its files on Epstein, which, I mean, they did vote, and they are going to get, they voted yes. But there's a question about whether they're going to get that vote in the Senate. Well, first, there's going to be a vote in the House on whether, you know, the full House supports it. Then it's going to go to the Senate, where it doesn't have majority support as far as we know. And now then it would go to Trump's desk. And while Trump did some saber rattling last night about how now he supports it, real questions about whether he does. So anyway, my point is simply, I think Speaker Mike Johnson made a good point when he said the juiciest stuff we just got. It's from Epstein's own files. The Epstein estate just released 30,000 emails from him. That's very good stuff. Why would we believe that whatever's sitting in the DOJ files is juicier? Now, that could have victim testimonials, but they're saying they're not going to release anything that would identify a victim. Well, I don't know how valuable it is if you don't release the identity of the victims. How are we supposed to figure out whether they're credible? Then you're back in the Democrat territory last week, where they released the Virginia Giuffre correspondence. I mean, it was Epstein talking about Virginia's alleged time alone with Trump, and the Democrats redacted her name. Meanwhile, the Republicans are like, why would you redact her name? She's already given testimony under oath that she's not a victim of Trump's. She's never slept with Trump. She has nothing on Trump. And by the way, she's outed herself as an Epstein victim, so there's no reason to protect her identity. So there's this whole shell game happening now. And you tell me whether you think something meaningful will come out, A, that it'll get voted for by the full House, the Senate, and signed into law by Trump, demanding that the DOJ release more files, and B, whether there's something in there that's going to be a game changer on Epstein.
I think it's mostly a political problem, because the way in which the Epstein files became this huge issue in the imagination of Americans was not because the left made it that. It was because people on the right did during the Biden presidency, and not like random people on the right. I mean, like J.D. Vance and Donald Trump Jr. and Dan Bongino and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi. They were accusing the Biden administration of concealing predators and a predatory ring because they wanted to protect people who are their allies, like Bill Clinton and Bill Gates. That's what put it into the public discourse. And that's why I think it's become a huge liability politically for the Trump administration, when they were the ones saying this has to be released, to then suddenly get in office and be like, hey, we checked. He killed himself. There's no blackmail list. There's no client list. There's none of that. You don't need to see any of this. I think it was that turnaround that became untenable. And I'm not convinced there's anything all that devastating. Obviously, Jeffrey Epstein had some bizarre ability to get people to be extremely close to him personally, notwithstanding his past conviction, notwithstanding his politics. I mean, Noam Chomsky, who's like a personal and political hero of mine, had a very close relationship with Jeffrey Epstein, which makes no sense. But a lot of people, like huge elites, very rich people did. It could be embarrassing for them. I do think the DOJ probably has information about Epstein that might not be in his emails, including maybe his relationship with foreign countries, including Israel. There is reporting on that he was best friends with the former Prime Minister Ehud Barak. So there still are open questions. I just think it's not tenable for the DOJ to conceal those documents, even if there's not an earthquake in there, given where the demands originally came from.
My friend just lost her ring. She went to replace it. She realized it was a gold ring. The price of it has gone up like 25% since she bought the ring a year ago. That's because gold is on the march upward. And it is the one time of year that Birch Gold Group gives away free gold with every qualifying purchase. That's right, for Black Friday, when you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a tax-sheltered IRA in gold, Birch Gold will send free gold to your home for every $20,000 purchased. Gold started this year around $2,600 an ounce. By October, it was over $4,000 an ounce. Why? Global uncertainty. 2025 has been defined by trade wars, central banks are pulling from the US dollar as the global reserve currency, and military tension continues to build. Gold thrives in times of uncertainty, and if you are looking to diversify your savings, Birch Gold can help you. Plus, now through November 30th, get free gold, I say, with a qualifying purchase. Just text MK to the number 989898 to claim your eligibility and for a free info kit on gold. But your opportunity for free gold with purchase will end on November 30th, so don't wait. Text MK to the number 989898 for full details. Message and data rates may apply. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.